Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, it doesn't seem like things are getting any better for Gavin Newsom. And as I said before, things are going to get a lot worse during the fire than people seem to realize. There is going to be a lot of legal lawsuits, which have actually started. There is going to be some great financial problems with this, and there's also going to be a lot of regulation problems of trying to people building their new houses because California is very heavily regulated, so to get anything started is going to take forever. Well, Gavin Newsom is now facing a recall because his horrible mismanagement and failure of being a leader for the LA wildfires. You have this here from the Post Millennial saying Gavin Newsom faces recall effort over leadership failures in mid LA wildfires. As wildfires continue to burn in the Los Angeles area, a recall effort has been launched against Governor Gavin Newsom over his response to the wildfires and other leadership failures. Organizers have vowed to file the paperwork within the next 2 weeks to remove Newsom from office, with Randy and Company, who is leading the effort, telling Newsweek that his group had already been planning the recall, but the fires shortened our time frame and changed things. Economy said in a statement, under the reign of Gavin Newsom, living in California has become impossible for average people through years of poor policies, which have increased the cost of living, increased crime, increased drug use and homelessness, increased the cost of burden on small businesses and communities, while decreasing our professional standards, education standards, the disappearance of billions of taxpayer dollars to failed pet programs and our public services. Yes, I agree with all of this. And this is what we call a problem for Gavin Newsom and a lot of things that has been going on here in California, because it is really expensive to live here. It really is, and just prove that or try to show that's not a thing is a lie, and it's a lie. People are abandoning California. They're making a mass exodus out of the state because of how bad it's poorly ran and how bad things are going in the state. And I have to tell you, it's not good. It's not good. California is just always crumbling. It's never in a good spot. This was most recently demonstrated by the woefully unprepared and incompetent response to the fires currently ravaging the Los Angeles area. The company added. Just today, Governor Newsom was asked, what is your plan to deal with the lack of water to deal with the fires? And he responded by saying, local folks are going to figure it out. Listen, when you are a leader, when you are a person at the helm of leading people, right? You got to have answers. And if you don't have the answers, then how can you promise to be your leader? It's like, you could easily say this, right? I am not sure on what happened here with that water, but I am determined and I promise to figure this out so that way so this can never ever happen again. There will be sanctions and laws and maybe potentially arrests to people who willingly or purposely avoided doing this, and I will get to the bottom of it. That is more of a leadership type rule of doing that than saying, "Oh well, the locals are just going to handle it." Like, well, we just let the locals handle with no water. It's like, what do you mean? It's like there's way too much evidence for you to defute this, and he blames the people for it. It's really astounding, honestly. It's like the Democrats just cannot take accountability for themselves. Uh, Leadership is solving problems, not passing the buck and the blame, and Californians can no longer afford to have an empty suit of occupying the governorship. It's time for Californians to take back control of our mismanaged government, and using the recall tool is our last hope. As much as I would agree with that, the problem is a lot of Californians are just going to be voting blue again. They're not going to change their ways. They're just going to continue voting blue and destroying their state into a complete oblivion because they're too stupid. There's actually going to be a video about that probably after this one, definitely today. But that they just can't comprehend or understand that the things that they do or vote for or think is what's destroying their state. But live and let live, I guess. Just be idiots to be idiots. We have this here to trigger a To trigger a recall for the governor, groups must file a notice of intent and then collect the signatures of at least 12% of the votes cast in the previous election. In the last gubernatorial election, over 10 million people voted, meaning that around 1.3 million signatures will be needed. So yeah, he is being being forced to resign here. And then we also have this here. Outraged LA residents call for immediate recall of Mayor Karen Bass over wildfires as petition hits over 86,000 signatures. Yeah. So this woman is also facing a recall too. She is not being let go here. She is going to be a person that is on the high chopping block here because she is also the one that is horribly mismanaged these wildfires. Incorporated DEI programs into this, which you will find out very shortly here as I go over that. She is wanted to defund the entire fire department. 50 million. Now, she didn't actually go and do that, but she wanted to, and that was one of her plans. She was only able to get 17 million out, but she wanted to also do 23 million at the very first step. So, yeah, this woman is absolutely horrible. And of course, when she's confronted with these things, she's just not saying anything. She's just blank, staring at a wall. Of course, this is the petition demanding the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass. This has 443,000 signatures. So this was put on January 11th, right? So now this is up to 143,000. So there is a hefty amount of things. Not like Change.org really changes bloody anything, but what I would say is that this is something that is representative to the people of the immense dislike of a actual politician or a person. This is one thing that can show this, and you probably should listen to it. Yeah, so it says here their demands are the immediate resignation of Mayor Karen Bass due to her failure to lead during this unprecedented crisis. Well, I wouldn't say that. I think we all knew this was happening and that this was going to go forward. I mean, there was been plenty of warning signs that something was going to happen, and it's going to be prevented. It's just the Democratic leadership failed California. They failed LA. A full, transparent investigation into the failures in disaster preparedness, response, and resource allocation that left our city vulnerable. Accountability for the mismanagement of taxpayer funds intended for disaster relief and recovery. And a comprehensive plan for ensuring the safety of all Angelenos in the face of future disasters. The people of Los Angeles deserve a leader who is present, accountable, and actively working to protect and serve our community. Mayor Bass's actions or lack thereof have shown that she is unfit for the office she holds. Yeah, because she would rather be in Ghana of Africa than being anywhere near the United States trying to govern and help her people. We have this here, though. Comedian Bill Burr, really just being ignorant or not knowing what's going on around him, right? He doesn't read the news, he doesn't pay attention, and it pretty much says, I feel lucky, I think everybody did a great job. Yeah, that shows that you don't know what's going on, because if it was a great job, you would know exactly what's been going on. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's watch this train wreck of a interview.
It's very good to see you. I heard you had to evacuate your home.
Yes. Like most people, I had to. I got lucky, the winds moved, but, the fire was coming and all that stuff. So I feel lucky.
Are you guys back in?
And I think everybody did a great job.
Yeah.
Unlike the internet,
Yeah, right. I know. It's right.
Oh, my God. All of these fire experts. Why didn't you just fly a helicopter into the ocean and then just... I don't know, because there was 100-knot winds. You want to do that? You want to do that at night, you lunatic?
How are you?
This was definitely mismanaged.
That's a big word we're hearing now.
Mismanaged, like some idiot on the internet knows how to manage the worst fire in L.A. sitting there in his underwear. You know what? Looking at the footage on the internet, I have determined that this here was mismanaged.
Yeah, so Bill Burr's an idiot because he doesn't pay attention to any of the news or anything that is going on. It's not looking at the fire and saying it's mismanaged or what have you. It's looking at any of the news and reports of showing of how Gavin Newsom defunded $100 million of fire department budget So we're down that, and where Karen Bass reduced or defunded the local fire department near $20 million. So yeah, I would say that's mismanagement. The reservoir was empty when this was all going. There was no brush that was being cleared. These were all reports that was been going on, and Bill Burr has the gall and the audacity to say, "Oh well." It's the idiots on the internet. They're the ones that are doing this. The guy sitting on his sofa in his underwear. Yeah, those people are misinformed. Those are the idiots. It's like, no, you're the idiot, Bill Burr. You're the imbecile. Because obviously, this is what's been going on here. We all have the information and news that's going on about what is happening in LA and how bad it is. There wouldn't be a petition of 143,000 people wanting to have Karen Bass resign. There wouldn't be a immediate recall for Gavin Newsom as well, and then there wouldn't be lawsuits happening against some of these counties for the mismanagement of the fire. So I don't know what to tell you, but there's a lot of things that you're just not apparently aware of because you're an idiot and you don't look at the news. That's fine. So what we have here for the final tipping point here is that delays and lack of resources. How LA Fire Department was late to the Palisades fire, according to witnesses, no one came. It took LA fighters at least 45 minutes to respond to the Pacific Palisades blaze when it broke out last week, according to records and local homeowners. And by that time, around 11 a.m. on January 7th, it was too late. What was at first a large plume of smoke had grown to a 10-acre blaze. By 11:30 a.m., firefighters reported to the fire was 200 acres, aided by strong winds that carried the embers as far as 2 miles. Yeah, so essentially, this is just the case, right? I mean, this makes Bill Burr seem even more of an idiot because they did a good job, right? So they did such a great job that they were 45 minutes late to all the fires in at least to the Palisades blades. So if you want to call that a good job, then I guess you could call it, but just to make you a bloody moron in the process. So there's that. Yeah. This is another reason why I say it was the DEI. It has to be DEI hires or something's going on here, because why would you be 45 minutes late to respond to a wildfire, to a wildfire, especially something as tremendous and big as this? Like, I don't know what else to tell people, but this is insanity that it was this long. The timeline compiled by the Washington Post raised questions over whether the Los Angeles Fire Department's slow and lack of resources that start may have allowed the blaze to spiral out of control. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they did have lack of resources, but regardless, it shouldn't take you 45 minutes. Even if you had one fire truck, one engine, you would at least be able to get at least one engine over there. So I don't really take that as a response. The fact that it was a 45-minute wait time, that's insane. Well, guys, this is what's happening. I think there at least seems might be some type of accountability for these horrible leadership of California. Honestly, I think some criminal negligence needs to be put upon these people, along with Act Blue. You know, they're trying to give Democrats donations, trying to convince people, oh, like, well, here's the wildfire aid relief, but it's actually going to an Act Blue thing. So, you know, there's that. We'll get more on that later. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Let's guys share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, because it's algorithmic disease, the social media.